give us some more recent commentary.
So Homing grew very quickly in 2000, especially after 2006 IPO, with the help of the financing. But by 2010, 2011, our competitors were also catching up very quickly, including China Lodging as well as 7 Days. At that time, Motel 168 became available for sale. And they had a fairly good portfolio, especially concentrated in Shanghai and the coastal area, including some, what we believe, leases that they possess that will be difficult to replicate, given how fast the leasing cost had increased from 2006 to 2011. So our reason behind acquiring Motel 168 is so that it will give Homing an immediate boost in terms of our total number of hotels and total number of rooms, so that we can easily maintain our leadership in terms of number of rooms in China's lodging market, with China Lodging and 7 Days catching up quickly. And two, that will give us a stronger position in the coastal area, where for historical reason, as I mentioned, Homing's development team and operational team were stronger in the northern part as opposed to the eastern part. So that was the rationale for the acquisition. And we also believed that at the time of the acquisition, Motel 168 overall was running at approximately 70% occupancy rate. We believe there's substantial room for improvement.
You could improve on that
for the performance. So the transaction was closed in 2011, and as you pointed out, it took a lot of management and attention and resource to integrate, as well as to improve the performance of the acquired hotels over the past 3-4 years, over the 3-4 years subsequent to the acquisition. And actually, thankfully, because of this acquisition, throughout 2013 to 2015, Motel 168 was the only segment that showed year-over-year RevPAR improvement, because of the operational changes that we implemented after the acquisition, while the core Homing hotels all had a deterioration.
Till now, I think these two, before Motel is behind, the RevPAR is lower than Homing's. So with the whole management change and also lots of actions put into operations, it's growing. Now they reach the same level.
Yeah.
So, but also this synergy, I mean, we almost utilized all the synergy by now, because now it's really kind of similar performance now.
Can you tell me anything about the particular actions that you took?
In the hotels, basically.
So with the Motel 168, you talked about specific management actions that were used to raise the performance.
Yeah, we have two type of actions.
They probably had names, the actions. They would have been called Project Dragon or something like that to raise the occupancy levels. I mean,
we
didn't have names. No, okay. But they're presumably the sort of programs that might have had names. So what sort of programs were there?
I think we have two types of one. One is the cost control part, because before, generally speaking, Motel's cost control is not as good as Homing's, including the personnel number for each hotel. So when we get the Motels one, I mean, for example, Homing, roughly we have a 0.21. This means that we have for 100 room, we have around 21 person to service this hotel, kind of 0.2 or 0.21%, a point to 0.21. And the motel is much higher. They are at that time when we get it, it's kind of close to 0.3 or a little bit above. So over the years, we basically use more like the Homing's management.
Staff to room ratio.
Yeah, staff to room ratio to gradually drop it
Brought the
down.
staff to room
Yeah,
ratio
now we-
down.
Yeah, but it's over a few years, not in 1 year. So now we are in the same kind of level now.
So when you reduce the staff to room ratio, I mean, there's a couple of things you can do. I'm thinking here about some of the useless companies that I've dealt with,
Mhm.
not the classy companies like you. But, management can send out a note to all of the various hotels saying, we must drive the staff to room ratio down, and get rid of some people. Look, make savings, work harder, right? Or you can have process improvements. And I'm imagining there was a combination of both.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes. We also have some system to utilize, but we ourselves designed the property management system, including we have the hotel management system to provide the tour to help the people in the hotel.
Yes.
Utilize some IT system to help them improve the working efficiency, and also we have, for example, in the hotels we have changed all kind of what we call the point of sales, this cashier system,
Yeah.
to reduce the daily reconciliation, previously the manual reconciliation work.
Yes.
So those kind of things, I mean.
So you added good accounting systems, you added good staff scheduling systems.
Including,
And we gave them operational manuals.
You gave
the
them
training.
operational manuals,
Mhm.
right?
and
So
also the trainings. We
Okay,
have the
and
different
training-
levels of the manager
Regular training. We have training team that circle around the nation to show the staff how to do things.
right. That sounds really good to me. Great. And presumably there are. I mean, even the staff who clean the rooms every day, there are fast ways to do it.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
probably ways to design the rooms so that the
Yeah.
cleaning process is easier,
Yeah.
and you presumably have.
Or sometimes just give people more clear instructions and goals,
Yes.
and an incentive system that's clearly linked to their performance.
Okay, and changing the incentive systems.
Yeah.
I see. And then that's on the cost control side.
Yeah,
But
the
you
other
also
side
talked
is
about
for
improving
revenue, yeah, revenue
occupancy.
side.
So the question is, again, I'm just interested in how you do that.
The first one is we utilize the home means membership system.
Yes.
Because we have a vast home mean member in our system. So when we get motel in, they also join the whole home mean membership program, including our central reservation system and our central call system. So this from the customer side, it's have a much bigger customer
Awareness.
and also access.
Yes.
And second one is for we mentioned the property management system. This provides lots of tools for them to change the pricing. So for the pricing, you can utilize more we call opportunistic or event-based pricing. So now we give them this kind of tool to see when there is any event, exhibition, or some kind of meetings nearby,
Conferences.
based on your historical, say pre-order pattern, which can give you instruction or reminding you need to adjust your price.
Yes.
And sometimes you need to adjust price more higher, sometimes it goes down.
So who takes the pricing decisions?
Decision is proposed by the hotel manager.
Okay.
But they need to get some approval, especially for reducing price. So they have approval, but the initiator is the hotel manager at the hotel level.
Okay.
Then also, of course, with the improved hotel management quality, the customer satisfaction increase is also attract more customer come
More
back.
returning.
Yeah, this is combined impact.
Why don't you go for a bit?
Yeah, so that was on 168. I'd also like, if you would, to just explain briefly with respect to the top star, forgive my pronunciation in advance, An Hui Yul fashion.
安徽一家
Okay, sorry?
安徽一家
An Hui
一
Yicha.
家
Okay.
Maybe a long Chinese lesson.
It is indeed. And Fairyland.
上世
Yeah,
纪
Fairyland 的影响世界。
If you could perhaps give us a brief explanation of each of those rationales for acquisition, what you did subsequent.
I would say directionally, the rationale is similar. I would put Topstar and Anhui Yijia in one category, because for those two acquisitions, we acquired predominantly leased and operated hotels. So for us, it's more of a consideration of acquiring the existing properties, the leases, as well as the investment they already made to the existing properties. So we could take them over, put in some improvement, and then start to improve on the existing performance through the similar measures Kathy just described for Motel 168. And those two acquisitions were relatively small, 10, 20 hotels. While Motel 168 was the largest, and Yunxiang Siji is much smaller than Motel 168, but similar in consideration in the sense that Yunxiang Siji actually has a nice regional brand recognition, and it has both a leased and operated business and some franchise business.
Is that the one I know as Fairyland?
Yes, Fairyland.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And for Fairyland, the improvement, I would say, is the least, because the operation itself at the time of acquisition was relatively the best compared to the other three acquisitions.
Okay.
All of them are much smaller.
Yes.
Kind of, even the Fairyland is only about 30 hotels in total. The impact is not big.
So for Topstar and Anhui Yijia, we almost thought of them as part of our organic growth. Like instead of signing a lease and invest to convert, we
Yes.
just buy something that's already
Yes.
gone through the initial stage.
And we didn't use their brand anymore. We
Yeah.
changed, converted into
They
Homin
are all
already.
Homin.
So what about Etel?
Etel is purely an organic growth product, as picking up from before. So after some iterations, we decided that we need to lower the value proposition slightly and reduce the investment per room slightly. One reason Etel grew very slowly is also the performance itself, and also reception in the franchise community. Franchisees are sometimes smarter than us because they really know the local market. So Etel, with its original prototype, did not get very good reception in the franchise community. But by 2013 and 2014, we've made multiple adjustments to the initial product. And we also put more pressure on the development team and operational team, giving them specific goals to develop Etel. So the growth in the Etel unit growth started to pick up in 2015, and this will continue to be one of our focuses going forward. And meanwhile,
Was that your business?
You mean me, myself?
Yes.
I was intensely involved in the initial development of the product and initial launching of the brand in 2012 and in 2011 and 2012, but less so after it has grown to certain units. Actually, after Etel had 5 or 6 units, then it was handed off to the operational team to be managed together with the rest of the.
Okay.
So my role is more develop new business and explore new opportunities.
It is now.
More.
Yes.
It
has
was. Been. It
okay.
has been.
Okay. And are you happy now with the
With the
Etel offering?
Not really. I think there's still it's still positioned slightly higher than a mid-scale and the market is still more difficult in that segment because it has a higher requirement for, because of the standard, it has a higher requirement for the property condition to start with. We need better properties to open e-tail, nicer layouts. You cannot have odd-shaped rooms. So these are all constraining factors to develop a non-economy hotel product. But we believe that we still want to maintain this, higher-end mid-scale product because we believe that eventually the market may open up, and we don't want to give up all the know-hows that we developed. So as a result, we also added another product in 2015, which is Home Inn Plus, which we just started to roll out. We believe, Home Inn Plus is much easier to develop than e-tail. It also requires less investment and less challenging to recruit and train the people. So we believe Home Inn Plus will be a direct, more of an equivalent or direct competition to the mid-scale product of China Lodging.
Okay. Because I was going to ask you what it was that China Lodging had been doing that you were not doing.
Yeah, and that's exactly so. By lowering the product standard a little bit, we find that we compromise the RevPAR a little bit. However, we can enjoy a much faster development process because the type of properties is more widely available, and the type of franchisees who can come up with this amount of capital is more, and from an operational perspective, the training and the standardization is easier.
So since we launched this Home Inn Plus in April 2015, the speed of development is much faster than e-tail. Also, this is all based on the lessons or experience we have learned for the last 7 or 5 or 6
It must be really quite hard, seems to me. I mean, you're trying to feel out the point in the demand curve where there's good money to be made with a format that is readily replicable and attractive to the franchisees in particular, which gives you speed. Is that fair? But then the problem is that it's changing over time. So
that
shifts in the demand curve over time.
That is a constant challenge. So especially in China, the product cycle with replacement cycle is much faster than anywhere else that we can see. If you have a good product, if you don't have a good product, then you're slow, but you also don't have much competition. But if you have a good product, then you really have to be very, very fast. Otherwise, the similar type of product will be all over the place before you realize it. And that is a constant struggle, and that is also why from what we can see almost in all industries there's overcapacity, and that is the problem for China in doing business in China.
Everything's very fast. So if you got the advantage, you cannot stay maybe more than 2 years. Basically, all the
with a
newcomers
particular
join.
product, you mean?
Majority,
yes.
Lots of the industry the same. As long as it's a good model, good.
Or in other words,
if
you come with a good product, or if you have certain advantage, either capital or efficiency, you cannot expect your
systems and processes and manuals
to sustain for a very long period of time.
No, I see that.
So change is the constant theme of the Chinese economy. You have to change, otherwise you.
Even in the economy or mid-scale segment. When we first started, the franchise demand is so strong because franchisees have no idea how to run hotels. But now a lot of independents have also upgraded their standards, and they've learned over time. We also have franchisees who are Home Inn franchisee, who's China Lodging franchisee, and they also have their own little chain somewhere.
Yes, they're growing into their own businesses with their own portfolios. So Home Inns Plus, is is that primarily a tier 1 and tier,
Tier
2?
Yes, it's 2. Yes.
It's primarily a tier
Yeah,
2
same
product.
as ETL. ETL and Homing Plus, our target geography is tier 1 and tier 2 cities.
Yes.
We don't plan to go to tier 3 cities. And also, for the development of those different brands, you need to have a successful business model first, because normally we need to have our own leased and owned hotels, and the operation result is good, very good.
Yeah.
Then it can be a kind of good
And you can
example
attract a
to introduce the
franchisee.
franchise.
You need a proof of concept.
Yeah. Because before ETL, honestly, our sales, the result is not that good.
Ideal.
So it's also difficult to sell to franchisee to expand it. But Homing Plus, because we found the right position, right pricing, and product mix, so the result is very, very encouraging. And so when other franchisees comes to see our results, what's your RevPAR, what's your investment, what's your return on investment, so they also get much more motivation to join this brand to franchise.
Yes. So I'm just having a look at your second topic. I think that's okay for now. I think we should talk a little bit about forward strategy for the next 40 minutes or so up to the break, if that's all right.
Sure.
And just how you see things. And I'm sure, broadly speaking, your points will be that you want more in the way of franchise hotels. You want to increase the percentage of that as your portfolio. You want greater percentage of mid hotels, and I'm a little bit interested in just talking about that and how that plays out across the various tiers of city.
If we may,
Of course,
going there,
of course.
I think we wanted to chat a bit about the IT platform.
Ah.
Okay, if you would.
So we have seen, like you said, that the platform that you have may be differentiating factor to attract and keep your leadership position in the industry. And I understand there is different platform, like a management reporting system, property management system, central reservation system,
yes.
customer relationship system, and home alliance preference platform.
Yeah.
Would you give us some
Sure.
overview and when it was started, how much was the investment, and what the target you have by
Sure.
the individual platform?
Okay. So Homing, it is an advantage that Homing has a proprietarily developed and integrated IT platform. The major components include, as you mentioned, the property management system, which is the front desk system that we install at each hotels, both leased and operated and franchise and managed. And we have slightly varied but similar system for both the mid-scale and the economy hotel segment. It's all proprietarily developed and connected to the central back office system. We have a central reservation system which can access all the hotel room status and is connected to the call center or the online booking system, so our customers can make
We have
booking.
WeChat and the app
Yeah.
ensure the mobile booking, which is the trend of the consumer.
And we also have the customer relationship management system, which keeps certain customer data. But we constantly try to improve that because the data is just massive. Currently, we have more just basic information of customers. So these are the three major front-facing systems. And then we have our management reporting system, which is actually not that complicated, but gives us real-time or daily access to for people in the office, in the head office, all the daily performance data by hotel, by city, by region, so that people like Kathy and I can see how we did last night and if Shanghai was doing better than Beijing, so on and so forth. And then we have a third-party accounting system, which over the years we have implemented a lot of customized measures to link the management reporting system with the accounting system so that we can increase the efficiency and conduct analysis. So that's a brief description of all the systems that we have. In terms of the investments, we invested not that much into all the proprietarily developed systems. Aside from the hardware, basically our IT investment budget is part of our SG&A every year, which is not a big number, as you can see from our financial statement. So I think this is the characteristic of a local grown company, that we can do things cheaply and do it internally. So this is a competitive advantage compared to the foreign companies, but we would also say that China Lodging and 7 Days have very similar systems background and setup and the amount of investment compared to Homing.
And also with the whole trend of the consumer, basically this IT platform or technologies become more and more important. So this also gives us more pressures to spend more money or investment in this area. But still, we'll continue our previous overall method is to use our own IT team as a major designer.
And you're doing some social network type stuff as well, aren't you? I mean, people who are building the community of
It's part of the
users.
customer-facing
Yes.
functionality on computer or on the mobile app.
Yeah, in our official website, they have some kind of interactions.
They can share their experience. They can form little groups.
Yeah.
So this is an advantage over over the smaller players, and it's fairly similar among the larger players, domestic larger players.
Yes.
And Home Alliance is Home Alliance is our. It's not a specific IT platform. Home Alliance is one of our new initiatives in an attempt to really leverage on our existing management capability and IT platform to generate additional business or to nurture future potential franchisees. It's sort of like a consulting program. So in today's business,